Hello, everyone. Tonight's story is about a boy who believed the moon was trying to talk to him. Not through words at first, but through light. Ethan wasn't the loudest kid in school. He didn't have a huge circle of friends, and he rarely spoke up in class. But every single night, he had a ritual. He would sit by his bedroom window and just stare at the moon. For him, it felt different. It felt closer somehow, like a silent companion hanging in the dark sky. On his 13th birthday, something shifted. The day had been quiet, just like any other day, but as the clock struck midnight, everything changed. A thin, silver beam of light slipped through his window. It wasn't the usual soft glow of the moon. This was sharp, focused. It touched the wall right beside his bed. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. The light didn't move like normal moonlight. It flickered almost like a candle flame dancing in a breeze. Then it shifted, and slowly, impossibly, it formed a symbol. Just one. A small, glowing circle etched in light. Ethan blinked, rubbing his eyes, thinking he must be imagining it. The next night, he sat by the window, his breath held in anticipation. Was he going crazy? Would it happen again? The minutes ticked by, and then, at exactly midnight, the silver beam returned. This time, it wasn't one symbol, but two. They hung there on his wall, glowing with an otherworldly light, staying just a little longer than before. He scrambled for a notebook and a pencil, his hands trembling as he quickly sketched them before they vanished into the darkness. Every night after that, the symbols came back. Midnight became a sacred time. The patterns of light grew more complex, more intricate, more intentional. It felt less like a random occurrence and more like a conversation. And strangely, they began to respond. One night, filled with a mix of fear and curiosity, Ethan whispered quietly into the room, "Are you real?" The beam of light instantly brightened, flooding his room with a brilliant silver glow. The symbols on the wall shimmered and rearranged themselves into a new pattern. He didn't understand the language, not in any way he could decipher, but he felt the answer resonate deep within his soul. Yes, weeks turned into months. The quiet loneliness that had followed him for so long began to fade away. He wasn't just a boy in a silent room anymore. He had a friend, a secret friend. Whenever he had a bad day at school or felt misunderstood, he would sit by the window and talk softly about his troubles. The glowing symbols would shift and change, and somehow it was always comforting. It was a connection he couldn't explain, but one he cherished more than anything. Then one night, the beam didn't come. Midnight passed. The room remained dark. He waited, his eyes glued to the window, his heart sinking with every passing second. 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Nothing. For the first time in months, the room felt cold again. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It was heavy, empty. The magic was gone. The next day at school, Ethan felt a familiar weight return to his shoulders. During class, he overheard some kids talking about the news. Scientists were reporting unusual activity in space. A small, unidentified object had apparently broken apart near the moon's surface. A strange coincidence. His mind raced. Could it be? That night, he sat by the window again, a desperate hope clinging to him. "Please," he whispered into the darkness. "Are you there?" Silence. The minutes stretched into an hour. He was about to give up when he saw it. Faintly, a very weak beam of silver light appeared on his wall. It was barely there, a ghost of its former self. But this time, the symbols were messy, broken. They flickered erratically, fading in and out of existence. In that moment, he realized something profound. Something small, something alone, something that had been reaching out across the vast emptiness of space, just like him. The fragile beam flickered one last time, just like the very first night. Then, it disappeared forever. Years later, Ethan became an astrophysicist. He dedicated his life to studying the stars. Not because he wanted fame, and not because he wanted money. He did it because he never, ever forgot what it felt like to not be alone, even if the universe only whispered back once. If you enjoyed this story, I post emotional bedtime stories like this every week, so be sure to subscribe. And I'd love to know what you think, so please comment below. Do you believe we are truly alone in the universe? Thank you for listening. Good night.